Hello, everybody. This is the Safety Health podcast, and more specifically, this is the Health and General episode. My name is F, and I'm being co-hosted by T
Hi.
and also L.
Hello.
And we'll be giving a brief overview over the topic of history in this episode of the podcast. To start things off, I'm gonna describe what LGBTQ plus stands for. It is an acronym for lesbian, gay, bisexual, transgender, and queer. And it's supposed to represent the various aspects of the community, and the plus is meant to demonstrate the various other members of the community, including intersex, asexuals, allies, and more. And personally, I consider myself an ally of this movement. And the what we be covering is the general misconceptions, um, and some misinformation that people have about LGBTQ plus members. To start off, a major problem is that religion and the LGBTQ plus community cannot go together. This is obviously wrong because someone's sexuality should not represent whether they can be part of a religion or not. It's not a mindset that is apparent in all the members that keeps them away from religion, and that is not part of religion itself. It explicitly describes that members of this community cannot be religious. Another big problem is that there needs to be a quote unquote man and woman in every relationship. Um, this is just a made up idea by heterosexuality, because this is what we're accustomed to, but that's not what the LGBTQ plus community is about. Um, it believes that that anybody can be whatever they want in the relationship. It's not anything. There is no set role, and it varies from person to person. Another one, a very dangerous misconception is that homosexuals slash queer people are sexual predators. This is obviously wrong. A sexuality doesn't determine whether someone is a criminal. Obviously, it is just a sexual preference. And another thing is that homosexuality comes from bad parenting. This is also completely wrong, and it just basically just devalues what people believe in this community. This is something that it's innate to them. It's something that everybody is born with. Everybody's born with a sexuality. So obviously, parenting has no factor in this. It just takes away this stigma. Just takes away the entire validity of members of this community. And also, the aim of the LGBTQ plus community is to convert others. This is wrong. It makes it out for them to seem as like predatory. This is just more, the community is about accepting those who who differ in their sexualities, and to make them feel natural with what they are and what they were born as in preferences. Another misconception is that being queer is just a phase or choice. This is obviously not true. This is something that is it's innate to people of this community. This is just how they are, and it's not it's not anything that can be changed. It's sexuality. It can change, but it's not meant to be the by spreading this phrase. It just basically just devalues them for making their own choices, and being the same gender attracted is easier than being heterosexual due to sharing the same gender. This is just assuming that everybody fits the basic gender rules, which is not true. Everybody varies on the spectrum of masculinity and femininity. Everybody's personality is different, and that generally doesn't make homosexual relations easier than heterosexual. So that is also a bad misconception. Another harmful one is that queer parents harm children or are not as good as heterosexual couples. Anybody can be a parent. It is awful to say that just because of their sexuality that makes them a bad parent and not fit to raise a child. Um, it, it it does not Their sexuality doesn't stop them from instilling good morals into their children. That is just wrong and disrespectful, and that people become queer. well, like I said before, this is something that people are born with, and it's not something that you can change into. It's just something that you realize within yourself, and you cannot explore different sexualities. I know I said that um, what you're born as, it is true. It is true to your feelings, but you can still explore sexualities because where everybody's trying to discover themselves, everybody progresses as people. So our preferences may change, and that is okay. That's what the LGBTQ plus is accepting about, and the LGBTQ plus education is only helping a few people. This entire purpose of this podcast, it's to continue informing people because everybody should be informed. People that are confused about their own sexuality and their own emotions. This is what the whole point of LGBTQ plus education is for. It's so they can identify these things that people see within themselves, and also helps them join the community where they can also relate to other people that feel the same way that they do. And also, this leads to the next point, which is why LGBT plus and health that is required. As the world becomes more inclusive, more and more teens find themselves identifying with the LGBTQ plus community. Yet, they find that they are ill prepared to explore romantic or sexual relationships due to the public system providing information aimed at heterosexual people. Homosexual erasure is very common and often finds young LGBTQ plus members making uninformed and unhealthy decisions. Um, LGBTQ plus health education also helps stop and prevent any harmful stigmas or misconceptions continuing about the LGBTQ plus community, giving a better understanding of queer youth. It is just important to educate heterosexual youth as it is also part of the LGBTQ plus community. And also another important note to add onto this is that it is okay to be sexually confused. It is normal, and you are allowed to experiment with your sexuality, and you do not have to feel ashamed if you try something you don't like. It will take time for you to find yourself and your true identity. Your sexual orientation can change as we continue to explore ourselves. We will find that which category we're most comfortable with. We'll be finding what we actually do prefer as we keep thinking introspectively. We find out more about ourselves, and eventually we will define our own group of people that we identify with the most.
And now to end off this episode, I'm going to give you a list of sources that'll help anybody listening to this. And the sources that I'm about to list, it gives more information on the misconceptions, the dangerous misconceptions regarding the LGBTQ plus community, and it also gives like statistics and more information on people that are affected by this, and it'll also give more information on kinds of aid that people that are, for anybody that needs it. The first website specifically is goscn.org. The second one is the trevorproject.org and pflag.org. Especially personally, I think the trevorproject.org website is especially informational because it lists a bunch of statistics about people that are being affected negatively and people that are actually getting aid from the government to help them. And that concludes this episode on general education. Thank you for listening.